I am recording.
Okay, you're recording. Okay, and others will join us. I was hoping well, this is not bad. There's 26 in the class, and there's 22 counting you and me present. So there's 6 people missing. So maybe they'll join us before the evening's over with. But guys, welcome to MELS 605, your last class in this. I know, at least I see you. I see you celebrating already. Welcome, and I'm glad to be a part of it. You're in for a treat. Dr. Lamb will join in throughout the semester, but you're pretty much stuck with me for the duration of the summer, which I hope is not going to be a bad thing. Those that know me know that it's not a bad thing. They know that I'm going to be there for you. But the purpose of this evening is I want to outline what the next 10 weeks is going to look like, and especially what the next 6 weeks looks like. And I'm going to begin by just a brief analogy. All of you probably have ridden a roller coaster before. No. Remember standing in line and getting on the roller coaster and just sitting in the seat? Well, you're in the seat, and we're fixing to ride the roller coaster for the next 6 weeks. We're going to go up down those hills, but guess what? There will be an end to the roller coaster ride, but we're going to have to ride it hard for the next few weeks. We have a lot to do and a short time to do it in, but the good thing is 99% of you are right where you need to be, and I'm hoping that 1% that you have stuff out there that you just haven't shown me yet or Dr. Lamb yet, and I'll be communicating with you this week and pushing hard to make sure that you're right where you need to be. So those of them that have worked with me, they know I push, but it's for your good and to make sure that you are going to be able to have everything completed, and not just completed, but quality work completed in a timely manner. So I've asked Dr. Lamb to pull, actually, this is all of the 605 students that will be graduating at the end of the summer session. This is all of them. You are in two separate groups, and your groups remain the same, but it's going to be treated as one class. We'll come together as one class, but you will still be assigned with the same groups that you've been working with pretty much all along. I apologize again for any confusion on the course overview. I did not know that you did not have access to my welcome and that information. I just didn't know it until Dr. Lamb brought it to my attention. So you do have the information now. You know how to reach me via email. You have my phone number. It's okay to call me. You know, if there's problems or concerns along the way, if you don't understand something, call me. And if for some reason I don't answer the phone, leave a message. Tell me who you are, and make sure that you give me a number, even if it's on the phone, a number that I can call you back. And at my earliest convenience, I'll call you if I'm in a meeting or somewhere else where I cannot talk to you. Dr. Lamb, let's just go down the left-hand side. I've done the welcome and the introduction. At this point, I know we've got the withdrawal policy, and at this point, I would hope that nobody is considering withdrawing after you've been this far into this journey. But we have to put it in there. Look at it. If there is an issue, just talk with Dr. Lamb or me. We're not going to let anybody quit us at this point. The grade of incomplete policy, it's important that you look at that as well. We are not going to give any incompletes unless there would be something over and beyond circumstances that are beyond your control that would be health related, and that would be determined. But just because you decide I don't want to do this, or I've got other things to do, I want to go to Hawaii this summer, we're just not going to do that. You've got to finish the journey that you started, so let's not even think about that. Dr. Lamb, if you'll go to the weekly class schedule and just click on that one. Okay, you are in the master's program, so you should have already looked at this. It's opening up. Okay, enable editing. Okay, very important that, first of all, I don't know if you've been able to get your textbooks yet. I know that it was with Blackboard down. I don't know when you got the information, but the 3 textbooks are important. So, you know, you must have your 3 textbooks. I will tell you that the strengths-based leadership book, if you bought a used book, then the assessment in the back is going to be required at the end of the 10 weeks in an activity that you've got to do. So if you bought a used book and there is not something in the back of your book, if it's been opened up and there's not what you need in the back of the book to take the assessment, then you're going to have to purchase that assessment, and you will have to go online and find that, because that's going to be necessary. It's a part of the requirements for the semester.
Which book is that?
That's the strengths-based leadership book.
By who? By who?
By Rath and Conchi. And there are 3 books, and they're listed on the course syllabus. The 3 textbooks that you need are on the course syllabus. The other one is Management of Organizational Behavior by Hershey, Blanchard, and Johnson. That's a really good book too. And you're good. This is the Management of Organizational Behavior book is one that you will want to put on your professional library shelf, and you will refer to this as an educational leader. You will refer back to that book. And then the other one is by Glickman, and it's the Basic Guide to Supervision and Instructional Leadership. And as you see outlined week by week, you see the weekly assignments, you see the books, the 3 books listed, and what you need, pacing yourself. This helps pace yourself for reading purposes. And then if you'll look in the 4th column where it says read all 3 discussion boards and choose one to complete each week, notice that there are under assignments, there are 3 discussion boards. Discussion board 1, discussion board 2, discussion board 3 for week 1. Now, you must read all of those assignments based on the textbooks, but you are only required to respond to one of them each week. It's your choice. And when you put it into in Blackboard for an assignment, it will allow you to choose 1, 2, or 3 for week 1. You see where I'm talking about there? You just you read all the assignments, but you only have to respond to the one that you choose out of the 3 each week. And there's 3 each week, I think, Dr. Lamb, until week 9. No, week 9. I can't remember. Well, come down to week. Okay, come back up. Come back up. There are 3 each week. What it is, one of them is the choice of the assistant principal interview. That is week 3. There are 3 activities to choose from each week, and one of them is the discussion board for the AP interview. And embedded also are the procedures for conducting that interview. And Dr. Lamb will go back to the left and show them that as well. You use the administrative interview process protocol for that if you choose to do that activity that week. I'll slow down just a little bit so you can see. And most of you probably have maneuvered through this already, but it would behoove you to go ahead if you have not and just play with it all and just see what's over there to the left and open everything up so you can plan out your plan of action for what it is that you're going to be choosing to do. Let me go back to the weekly assignments again. Go to, and you can see you have 3 to choose from each week, and you will go to your discussions and choose from You will read them, and then you'll choose one each week to respond to. Go to the last week, week 10, Dr. Lamb, and you're back to your well. You will see there's a total of 27 discussion board activities. Again, there are options each week except for week 10, and that is where the strengths-based book, strengths-based leadership book is involved, and that is where the assessment, everybody is required to do the assessment. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on. I'm going to do more with this book than what you're going to do with the assessment at the end, but I'm not going to talk about that until probably after week 5 or week 6. This is one of the things that I'm going to do once I know that you have submitted the required work in the task stream and we have those weeks left without having to be concerned about the evidences and those other kinds of things. So just know that I will be coming back to this book, but you need to be reading it along the way and pacing yourself based on how Dr. Lamb and I have outlined it, the week-by-week essentials that you're required to do. Any questions at this point about the weekly assignments and then the discussion boards? Now, I will tell you at this point, the discussion boards, the reading, and go to that last column, Dr. Lamb. Go back up. The last column, these are your evidences, the evidence work that you've got to do. Now, I've gone through and I've assessed everybody. Again, I think, like I said, 99% of you are right where you're supposed to be, and I'm hoping that 1% that you're going to be able to show me something. But the only thing that you will owe me this semester based on what I am seeing is the PSYOP. And that has been outlined for you. This is a guide so that it will pace you. You see that your evidence work for task 1 of the PSYOP, and we're going to refer to something in just a minute. I know Dr. Lamb probably has already talked with you about this, or you may have gotten something last semester. I don't know, but we're going to assume that you have not gotten it, so we're going to make sure that you understand it. But task 1 of the PSYOP basically should be completed at the end of this week. I know we had we were a little bit late getting information out. You know, I can work with you on that, but we're not going to get behind. So, you know, let's make our goal to try to have whatever needs to be done by the end of the week, completed at the end of the week, so that you don't get behind. I want you to notice, and you can thank Dr. Lamb for this. He has provided the template for the PSYOP, and I want you to notice in every one, task 1 through task 6, he has told you in red exactly where you go and find the information that you need to complete that task. You've already done it. You've already done it. Now, the thing that you are going to be responsible for is, it's not just a matter of cutting and pasting, although that's what you're going to do. You've got to organize this in a manner that it makes sense. You've got to do some narrative work in there so that there is a connection between, you know, the parts that you put in there. I mean, there's still some construction that you've got to do, but the hard part has already been done. It's what you did in evidences 1 through 5, and Dr. Lamb has done an excellent job just laying it out there for you, and it's a matter of going back and getting what you've already done and putting it in the right place. He's even told you where to put it. You just can't just go put it in there without putting some order to it, and when we read it and when the evaluator reads it, it must flow and it must make sense. Now, I hope you've realized by now that what you started out when you did the APSL almost a year and a half ago to where you are now, this is a School Improvement Action Plan, the SIOP. You have created an action plan for running a school from the very beginning to the end. It's just putting it all together again. It was like when you started a year and a half ago, it was like looking at I would say the blueprints for building a home. I don't know how many of you have ever built a home from the ground up, but you looked at the blueprints for building a home. And each semester, you built the foundation, and each semester you kept building and building and building until, guess what? You're almost going to be able to get a key and move into your home. That's kind of what we're doing now. We're putting all the pieces together. Each one of those pieces represent a room in your home, and you're going to soon have your home built and finished. And our job is to be the inspectors and to inspect it at the end and say that it's ready to live in. It's ready to use. So as you look at what the SIOP example that Dr. Lamb has provided, there should be no reason at all that you cannot follow this step by step and fill in the blanks with the information that you've already done. Now, I've gone back and I've looked I've reviewed everybody's scores that you had with your final evidences. Now, everybody has passed everything, but now I would ask you, if you scored a 3.0 on something, that means that you passed it, but that meant that it was maybe not the strongest evidence in the world. So I would go back and I would look at it and I would ask myself, if I got a 3.0, what is it that I might need to do to enhance it when I am putting my SIOP together? I would go back and I would add something to it. I wouldn't just settle for the 3.0 that I got back then. I would say, I need to do a little something more, and this is your opportunity to fix whatever it was to make it stronger in the end. Does that make sense? Okay. Dr. Lamb, anything that you need to say at this point about what I've just said?
No.
Okay. Any questions at this point? Okay, let's move on down, Dr. Lamb. Okay,
task stream requirements. That's the next one.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, your requirements for task stream this semester, again, I have gone through and I have analyzed where everybody is. Again, you should, the things that you've got to submit to task stream this semester would be your final SIOP, and that is not going to be done until actually there is a place built into your course shell that will, where you have to put it in there for me to tell you that it's ready to go in to turn it in, and from turn it in that it's ready to be submitted to task stream for a final grade. So that goes at your School of Ed dispositions, and I think they can go ahead and do that at any time. Am I right, Dr. Lamb?
Some of them started coming in today.
I thought so. I have not looked at it this afternoon. And then your competency analysis, you've got one more of those that's got to be done as well. And I would say that, you know, if they're comfortable, Dr. Lamb, they can go ahead and start doing that. I have no problem with that as well when they know that they have met the requirements for that, and they can go ahead and start knocking that out when they want to as well. I have no problem with that. And then your final competency folio, and I think you mentioned that last night, Dr. Lamb, that will come a little bit later. They probably don't need to be turning that in this week. But I would think that they need to be working on that and getting it ready to turn in soon. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Okay, and then your internship log, even though you're in your last semester, you must continue working on your hours. That will be something that you probably will want to hold off on unless you know that you've got your 80 hours already done this semester, which I don't that I would hold off on that until closer to the submission time, July 1. We'll talk about that some more. But make sure that you're looking for more, looking for opportunities to do some things differently this summer, and even beyond the submission date. I would ask you to continue working until the very end with as many opportunities as you can, administratively. But those are the only 5 things that are due in task stream for all of you: the PSYOP, the School of Ed disposition, and the competency analysis for 605, then your final competency folio, and your internship log, which there will be 5 of them, 1 for each of the semesters, showing 80 hours each semester. Okay. Anything more on that, Dr. Lamb?
No.
Okay. Let's move on down. There are no peer reviews for the PSYOP. However, you have worked as a team. With the way your classes are assigned, you know each other. If there's something that you need to, if you need to Zoom with a classmate, you've got Zoom capabilities. If you need to talk with a classmate about something, by all means, you've worked as a team for the last year and a half almost. So, continue to lean on each other as you need to, but there is no peer review requirements for the PSYOP. Dr. Lamb, let's move down to where Zoom session 1, and that's actually where we are. There were several things listed, or options under each Zoom week. I have hidden those from the students. Well, the item's not available. At this point, do not be concerned about those. My main concern at this point, and we're going to zoom in each week, but my main concern right now is to get you to the place that you're completing your evidence work. You've got your reading started. You're working on your discussion boards. The other things I'm going to pick and choose things, but I'm going to wait, and I will be addressing those. So don't be concerned about anything under the Zoom session 1, Zoom session 2. Don't be concerned about any of that at this point. I will come back and pick and choose when I get ready for that. Dr. Lamb, come down to the MELS final reflection. That will come at the end of the summer session, and that is for the MELS program. Dr. Lamb and I would ask that at the end of the program that you would respond to this reflection honestly, so that it will help us, to continue to work towards improving the program for future students. And if you would, at the end of the program, if you would take time to reflect on that and submit that as well. It is not something that you need to be concerned about at this point. I just wanted to point it out. Okay, Dr. Lamb, if you'll go back to the left. Okay, come on down. And again, if there's anybody that's left to submit the CAP, then I will work with you individually about anything that you've got to do. As you are completing each of the tasks for the PSYOP, you see that there is a place for you to submit it for my evaluation. This is for the course evaluation. This is where I will provide you feedback. I will tell you that you need to add more to it. You need to, it's not ready for this. This is where I help you get it ready for a final submission when you put it all together. This is where, and then the discussion board as well. You can go in there and you can ask me to, in the internship shell, you can click my name in there. I can look at what you want me to look at as many times as you want to while you're getting it. Dr. Stedman, will you take a look at this? I can give you feedback, tell you you're on the right track. Dr. Lamb would be glad to help you as well if you want another pair of eyes to do that. Now, I know that you are assigned, you have a clinical coach too, and that person may be in touch with you, but you are going to be hooked at the hips with me this semester. I'm going to be your instructor, and I'm going to be taking on the role of a clinical coach too, even though I am not your official clinical coach too. I'm going to be doing the same stuff to help make sure that we are meeting our deadlines and that you've got the quality work that you need to turn in, when you turn it in. I think you're okay with that, right? Okay, I see Lisa shaking her head. Yeah, it's a good thing. I promise you that. I promise you that. You can see at the very end, once you complete task 6, when you get to the last, there's a place for you to your SIOP final evidence narrative and your Turnitin check. That's where it will be looked at, and we decide whether it's ready to go to task stream or whether we need to do some more work. But I can promise you this: if you do what I ask you to do along the way, it's going to be ready, and there's not going to be any problems when we get to that. Okay? Okay, Dr. Lamb, if you'll come on down. Again, the SIOP template is under the discussions at the bottom. The rest of it, I think, is already embedded in some of the other stuff that we've talked about. There's your SIOP final evidence template that you will use as your guide to put all of this together. Any questions at this point?
I have a quick question.
Okay, who am I speaking with?
This is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
For our discussion board post, when would you like them turned in by?
Okay, let's look at and let's talk about that. I deliberately have not put anything out there because I just didn't know what the week looked like for students with their books and things of that nature. I have historically worked with most of you, you're going to be off. Many of you are going to be off in the summer, but I have worked with Sunday night submissions and doing it late at Sunday night. I work late at night, and then that way Monday morning starts a new week. Let's look at saying that our week is going to end on Sunday night, and let's say that you have work posted by, and I've been doing 9 o'clock, but let's just say because I've got more time, let's just say I'll give you until 10 o'clock on Sunday nights to get your work posted for that week. If there is an issue, if there's something that comes up, you communicate with me and just let me know, and I will work with you. Don't make it a habit. Let's just kind of say that's going to be our cutoff time, and I should be able to get up on Monday morning, and I should be able to take care of everything that you've submitted and give you immediate feedback, because that's what I'll do on Monday mornings, or probably Sunday night. If you can get it in to me before 10 o'clock, then by all means, go ahead and get it in. You don't have to wait. If you find time and you decide, well, I've got time to do my discussion board activity for this week, and I got enough time to read and do the next week, go ahead and submit it. I'm not going to tell you you've got to wait and do it each week. Go ahead and get it into me, and you can get cleared as quickly as possible. Even with your evidence work, if you can get more than one task done a week, then by all means, turn it in. In fact, one of our students has already completed the SIOP. It was last semester. So, I mean, they're cleared. So, you can clear that as long as, again, I don't want you to rush through it. I want quality work. But if it's done in 3 weeks, then by all means, we'll clear you out in 3 weeks. You don't have to drag it out week by week. You work and know that by July 1, that is, Dr. Lamb said that's our soft date. But guys, the way I'm working with you and the way I'm not going to add anything to these first 2 or 3 weeks to give you a jump start on getting those kinds of things done. Let's go ahead and get this done, and let's not let that be the soft date. Let's let that be our goal, so that July 1, you can, whoever it was that was celebrating earlier, let's have a real celebration, and July 1 be the date that we can say, okay, we're through with all this. The rest of our time, we can just come in on Tuesday evenings and we can talk about the real things that involve being a school administrator, and do some things without the stress of knowing that we've got that evidence working and the other task streams behind us. Is that a plan? Do you like that plan? Let's work towards that, and let's let July 1 not be our soft date. Let's let that be our hard date, and then that gives us some time to do some fun things and just relax and just be real after that for the rest of the semester as we can.
I have a question.
What do you think about that, Dr. Lamb?
Thank you.
Okay, somebody else have a question?
I have a question.
Okay, who is this?
This is Paula King.
Hey, Paula.
Hi. 80 hours a semester is what we should get. If you're short one semester, is it okay if you can make it up the next one? For instance, this summer, if you make up those hours.
Yes, go ahead and make it up. You can't go back and do what wasn't done. Just make sure that you've got quality hours when you submit them all to me at the end, okay?
Okay.
Okay, other questions? Let me ask you this. Has the plan that I've laid out, has it eased your minds? Do you feel more at peace about where you are with things right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing. I think
Yes.
I think yes. Just know that I am available. Just know that I don't lose students. Dr. Lamb and I have a history of making sure that our students do what they need to do to get through. So just know that I'm going to push. You call on me, because I'm going to certainly call on you if I don't see you doing what you need to do in a timely manner, but I don't think I have anything to worry about. I've laid it out so that everything that I'm requiring of you at this point is very doable, even with closing out school, because I know how hectic it is this time of the year trying to close out school. I've deliberately backed off on some of the things that I could have done with the Zoom weeks to give you a head start on this other stuff, and that, I'll pack that at the end when you don't have the stress of students and other responsibilities, as we get through with some things. But there'll be some fun stuff. In fact, Dr. Lamb, I'm already going to put you on the docket towards the end. I want you to talk to them, be a my guest speaker, to talk to them about interviewing techniques. So, are you there?
I'm here. I'll be there.
Okay, so just know that's going to be very, very important, and Dr. Lamb does an excellent job with that. So he and I will work together, towards the end to help you with some interviewing techniques. Probably I will ask you, you already may have it. I'm probably going to ask you to send me a resume to look at. You need to be working on that and have something to make yourself marketable. Just remember, at the end, you actually are marketable now. If you went for an interview and you were offered a job, Dr. Lamb could actually provide you with a letter stating that you will be completing this program, by such and such a date. So you actually could interview for administrative positions now, and you could be considered for it, and Gardner-Webb would support that. Am I correct, Dr. Lamb?
Correct.
Okay, so just know that we're there for you, and we're going to help you complete this journey that you started, this experience you started a year and a half ago. Any more?
Dr. Stedman, if I can really quick, you did say that if we have our SIAP done at the end of June, that's okay?
Yes, you can submit that to me at any time. As I said, you don't have to wait 6 weeks. You can get it done in 3 weeks. If you can get it completed in 3 weeks, then get that stress off of you and go ahead and move on.
Okay.
Is that the question you were asking me?
Yeah, that is. Thank you.
Good. Okay, any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay, who am I speaking to?
Doris.
Hey, Doris.
Hey, the first discussion board is due this Sunday.
Well, it is due this Sunday for those that have the books. If you don't have the book, then just let me know. Just send me an email, a message, and know that I'll work with you. You may have to double up and do 2 in 1 week, if your books have not come in. But I understand.
Okay.
I'll work with you until you get your books. Is that what you were asking me,
I
Doris?
have one more. Yeah. Did you explain the textbooks? There was something. I came in a little late, so I didn't catch the beginning about the books.
There are 3 textbooks, and they are in your course syllabus. The one by Hershey Blanchard, one by Glickman, and then the Strengths-Based Leadership book. That is the one that you will be using towards the end of the semester, and it has an assessment at the end. Now, if you bought a used book, chances are that somebody has used the assessment at the back, and you must have that assessment, so you'll have to purchase that assessment. If you bought a used book, you'll have to go online and purchase that assessment so that you can only use the assessment one time. But
Okay.
it's a valuable instrument, and it's going to help you tremendously as you are looking at yourself, as an administrator, where your strengths and your expertises are, and the areas that you need to work on. It helps a lot with that.
And which book was the assessment in?
That's Strengths-Based Leadership by Rath and Conchi.
So to piggyback off of that, I'm going to hold up the book, and I just want to ask to make sure, is this part here what you're referring to as the assessment?
In the very back of the book, and I can't see, Dr. Lamb, I cannot see who's holding up anything.
I've got the book in my hand here.
Okay.
Nadine's holding up a book. There
Okay.
is an online assessment that goes with the book. The assessment is not actually in the book.
Right.
You have to go online and take the assessment. There's a little
code
in your book that has a code that when you go, let me do it for you right quick. Move some of this stuff out of the way. So after you read the book, you go online and you can just go to Google and you can do Strengths-Based Leadership.
And when you go online, it'll tell you to put your code in there if you've got a new book with the code.
All right, so you do Gallup Strengths Assessment, created by Gallup. And when you click on that, it will let's see, how to succeed, step 1. All right.
Yeah.
You can download the guide. Let's see. That's not going to do it. Let's see. Audio book, official site, Scholar Yard, Strengths-Based Leadership. Right here. Okay, access code. All right. And so here it is, StrengthsFinder 2.0. All right, so when you go online here, redeem access code, you put your code in here and it'll give you the assessment. Now, if you don't have a code, you can actually pay and take the assessment. I think it's about $12. Let me see if I can find that site for you.
Yeah. And I know it's there because I've had students in the past that have to do that.
That's not it. All right.
While Dr. Lamb is, have you found it, Dr. Lamb?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, your strength assessment. So you can take the test from the book. Okay, so here's the book, and you can do the book, and the book will have the code in there that you can put in, and it will tell you how to do that. And it will tell you the website to go to, and if you don't have that, if your code's already been used in your book, you can just go to the assessment site here. You redeem your code, and if you don't have a code, let's see.
While Dr. Lamb is looking for that, the good thing about this, since you are you are all getting your master's degrees, I hope all of you are going to go to graduation. I will be at graduation, so I'll get to meet those of you that I have not met during your graduation, so I look forward to that as well. So.
Can I ask a question about the SIAP while he's looking?
Sure. Who am I speaking with again?
This is Abby.
Hey, Abby.
I don't want to get too into it and stress everybody out, but SIAP 2, we have to have a visual aid, and it seems like the PERT chart that we made for CAP is fine for CAP is fine for that, but then it says we need video evidence. Do we just gather that team that we did that task with and present it to them? We're kind of moving backwards on it, but I just didn't know if that's kind of what people have done.
Okay. Abby, let me look at that and let me respond back to that and just communicate with me personally, and then it may be something that is, that I just need to talk with you about, but if it's something I need to talk to the whole group about, let me look at it, and then you and I will communicate.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay? Let me look at that.
And then another question just about it. You know how in each paper we referred to everybody as the CAP team or the actual team that we gathered. Should we just, as we're putting them together and kind of making it flow, is it okay to refer to people as like the SIAP team or just a team that we gathered?
I think either way is good. Whatever works with you, I have no problem with either way with that.
Okay.
All right, in your book, right here, you got a little flap, and if you open that up, it has an access code to redeem that code. If you don't have that code, it will direct you to where you can buy it. I think it's $12. Take the test. Take this test. Let me open this one up. It says I have to cut it with a pair of scissors here. So I've got an unused code here for a small fee. I'd sell you this. So right here.
What's that small fee?
All right. So to take the Strength Finder 2.0 assessment and access your strengths-based leadership guide, visit strength.gallup.com. And you can sign in using this code. So let me go to that right quick. Got that.
While Dr. Lamb is going there, just make sure, check your Gardner Webb email every day for messages that I may send. Go to your Blackboard and check for new messages in there. I will take today's Zoom meeting message out, and I will, if there's something you need to know, I will put it in there, and I'll send emails, group emails as well if you need to know something. So, but just make sure you check things on a daily basis.
Okay, and then click on Redeem Code. Enter it exactly. If you don't have a code, you'll need to purchase one to proceed. And so let's see. You can click on Purchase One. You can purchase a code. Let's see. Oh, we don't want to pay that for it. Don't want to do that. That's more than the book. They want $49.99 for the code. I know. I'll find you a link to something cheaper than that.
Okay. We've got time on that, but we'll look. And I know in the past, Dr. Lamb, it has not been much more than
$12 is the last one. Last one I paid for it was $12. And if it's more than that, surely we don't have to pay $50 for the code when the book doesn't cost but $20. Let's see. I've got a free code here, so if somebody were to email me first one, I might give them this free code. If you've not taken it.
I can hear ding, 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 ding.
So, but I'll find you a link to a cheaper one than this.
Okay.
This is for the big one, but there's a smaller one, and so I'll get you a code for a cheaper one. I'll be working on that one. But
I know it's out there.
Yeah.
I know it's out there. Okay. So Abby, don't forget to communicate with me if I forget. I'm going to look at that tonight, and I'll get back with you about that. And if anybody else has individual questions, just know that you can email me, you can call me. It's okay. Just know that that's okay. So, any other questions right now? Again, I need to ask you. Have we outlined it to the point that you feel comfortable and you understand what you've got to do to to get the next few weeks completed and put a plan in place to get it done. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better about things? Good. That was my whole point. I wanted you to leave tonight. I mean, I know you got a lot to do, but I wanted you to feel, more comfortable in knowing how to do what you got to do and knowing that you've got a support team to help you get there. Okay? Dr. Lamb, that's it. I think I've given them a lot tonight.
All right. Chris, it's good to see you and all the folks. Mike, I'm just looking to see all my folks from 603. Good to see all of you again. I'm proud and pleased that you've made it this far. There's Stephanie and Jeff and Nadine. There's Clarence, the Dedge, all the way from Port-au-Prince. Hope things are going well there. There's DeWald. I hadn't seen some of you. There's Derek. I hadn't seen some of you since 601 with Dr. Ted. So, but I've seen y'all, and so I too am looking forward to graduation. We'll all be there with bells on. Let's see who the first one was to click. It was Abby Pierce, so I am going to send Abby the code.
Congratulations, Abby.
Abby got the code. And I'll include the website and the code, so if you don't have one. But yeah, I'll find you a cheaper one than $50 to take this.
I'll make sure that he gets you a Kmart deal.
That's what you need.
That's what you do. I understand. But again, guys, I just want you to know I do look forward to working with you this summer, and I want to reiterate again, just know that if you do your part, I'm going to do my part, and we're going to get through this, and you're going to be very successful when it's all over with. Dr. Lamb, that's all I've got for tonight.
All righty.
Okay, one more thing. Just make sure you hold Tuesday evenings available at 7 o'clock, and I will send the code out. All our meetings won't always be this long, but I will check in to make sure that you are okay. If you've got any questions, and we'll just touch base. We'll kind of play it by ear for the first 2 or 3 weeks to kind of see where you are with things. Okay. Okay, that's it, Dr. Lamb.
All right, I'm going to send this email.
Okay, and then you will always be able to find this week's Zoom session, whatever we record, you will find it, go back to Blackboard, and you will find it placed in Blackboard. You'll be able to go back and listen to it and look at it if you need to. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right, Doris and Ann, I'm sorry you didn't get one, but maybe next time.
I know.
Let me know if you're having problems with your book. Seriously, you got a little time before you have to, as Dr. Stedman said, jump in and start with those discussion boards based on your reading. But let me know if you're having trouble with your books, and I'll see what I can do. As always, it's good to see everybody again. And I'll be joining you from time to time this semester, since I just loaf around, don't do much. So I'll come and see you every now and then. But again, we're proud of you, how far you've come, and what the work that you've done. One more mile. All right, everybody have a good week. We'll see you all.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, good night. Okay.
So the last question is, do you have to be present for graduation? No, you don't have to be present for graduation.
But I won't get to see you if you don't go.
I'm in Haiti.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I understand
They'll
why.
mail you your diploma, so you'll be okay.
I don't know if they're
everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.